Shiva. So Shakti is not different.
Shakti is not different from, that's why it's called Shiva Shakti. But Shiva is not Shakti.
Yes, Shiva is not Shakti.
But it's not different from Shakti.
Yeah, yeah, and this, can you clarify this?
I clarified? No.
The essence of the Shakti is the Shiva, of course.
I would not say that. Even that would be too much. The essence, then you have to go further. What is the essence of the essence? And you will never end, you never reach the end of Shiva.
No, I would not ask this.
Yeah, but the moment you put up this essence word, then you comes in mind again. And that what is in the essence of the essence?
But you are talking whole
No, I don't talk about that. I talk about I don't talk about essence. I talk about that, but I have no idea what it is and what it is not. If I would call it essence, then there is something different to the essence. No, I have no idea. Not knowing what you are and what you are not, I'm talking about. So, not being the essence. I don't have to eat to be. Essence. She wants to understand it. It's negative, but it's all false understanding. So whatever I give you is empty. I don't care if it's true or not what I say, but you care about it. That is the only difference here. The one and only difference that I'm up to you. If it's true or not, who fucking cares? For sure not me. I can say anything.
So strange.
I'm always right even when I'm totally wrong. But you want to be right, and that makes you permanent wrong.
I do not want in this case.
Of course you want.
No, I want just that.
No, I want just.
Yeah, I want.
I don't want, but I want just.
Yes,
I want to be
just,
justified.
but not right.
Of course you want to be
want
right.
just to
I always want to be right, and I am right.
You are coming with this right and wrong.
No,
I just want to know. It's not nothing about that.
You want to be right.
No.
What's the difference of when you know you will be right?
I don't know.
I don't know. You are really like a tricky woman.
I am.
You are presenting one.
Presenting.
No wonder the more of the sexes is so.
The woman looks like this snake. It's always, no, I don't want. Oh, but I just want. Oh no, I don't want. I just want. Oh. Always very tricky. You know? Like Eva. No, you don't have to bite. I bite first. You see me? It's not so bad. See? Then I'm okay. Just to have this peace, Adam. Okay, I did. But just trying to have this peace. Let's do it. Believing that you can have your peace, and then Eve is talking with you, and always the world champion of complaining, because you will never write for Eve. Whatever you do as Adam, you are damned that you want to please Eve, and it's never will work. That's the beginning of all karmic, the law of existence. Adam who wants to please Eve. That's called evolution. It's evil from the beginning. The moment you want to please yourself, you are in hell. That's called love affair with yourself. The Shiva Shakti love affair.
Oh, yeah.
Then you want to please yourself. Now he only wants to fuck himself. I just want to know myself. What's wrong with it? Everything is wrong with that. Everything is wrong with that, because all your discomfort comes from wanting to know yourself. That's why I call it wrong. Just be what you want to know. By being it, you are knowledge already. That's maybe that what you can gain and you cannot own, and that is really giving you a pain, because I cannot own myself. But I really want to own myself. I want to know myself. That is the original sin, I think. Putting yourself in a sense that what you can sense, what you can own. By that original sin, you suffer. You want to put yourself in something what is sensible, what can be known. That is, you want to be sinner even. You want to become nothing. Sinner and sinner and sinner. Even that is a sin. It's called sinner. Howard, Mr. Howard, is it zoology? Who is lying more? Competition of liars in the Olympic game of liars. Like this Brahma and Vishnu. At least Vishnu didn't lie. So there's a liar and a non-liar. Brahma lied and Vishnu didn't lie. The end of the light of Shiva. It will come soon, in 2 weeks.
After you move.
It will be relative light on the mountain. So there's a beginning and end. So you will see the 10 days of the light of Shiva burning on the hill. And it's nice. You always know where you are. Good. Brazil, okay?
Okay. And can you tell something about unconditional hate?
It's unconditioned. That's the condition of faith. It's unconditioned. It's already there in the absolute potential of what you are. You cannot avoid it because the unconditioned, absolute being, the absolute unconditioned potential of all experiences can only experience itself in opposites. So you start to experience yourself in the opposite of hate and love. So there's an unconditional hate experience and an unconditional love experience. And in both you realize yourself. And both is a realization of what you are. And you cannot otherwise experience yourself as in good and in bad. There will always be hell and heaven. There is no other way of realizing, because realization means there is an experience of what you are, and experiences can only happen in opposites. There will always be day and night, there will always be black and white, or whatever comes as polarity. And the main polarity is love and hate. So you experience yourself in unconditional love and unconditional hate. But both is unconditional, both cannot be conditioned. So their nature is absolute. So there's absolute hate and absolute love. And you are the absolute hate and you are the absolute love in nature, but you're neither hate or love. So yes, you experience yourself as hate and you experience yourself as love, but by that you don't become a hater or lover. You're always that what you are. But you can only experience yourself in opposites. That's the way it is, if you look at it. But so obviously, it's just an open secret. That the moment you know yourself, you're in the help of knowing yourself. And the moment you don't know yourself, you're in the bliss of not knowing yourself. So both is always there. Both sides. The impersonal and the personal. In the personal, you hate to be personal. In the impersonal, you love to be impersonal. So the impersonal love and the personal hate. So whatever person says I love you, actually hates that he has to love. He hates to love or whatever. There's no other way. And that both you realize yourself what to do. And you are what you are in spite of both. That's all I can say. The rest is...
So it's shifting all the time.
In every moment is shifting. 90% of the day you're in the impersonal, you don't even know who you are. You only when there's a disturbance, your eye comes up, you're disturbed, the one who is disturbed. So normally, this is the second reality, like in shamanism, there's this, the first reality and the second reality. Like the first and the second, whatever. And you shift permanent. Right now there's a personal experience and an impersonal experience. Right now there is like a personal one who wants to understand and hates that he doesn't understand. And there's an impersonal understanding already. So there's an understanding and there's a non-understanding. One who understands is relative and that is already not relative. But both comes together.
So in fact you cannot actually know yourself, because once you...
No, you cannot know yourself relatively.
Yeah, relative, well...
You cannot know yourself absolutely, because the knowledge you are is uninterrupted. So you know yourself in spite of anything. So you cannot not know yourself. But you will never know yourself relatively. Like she wants to know herself relatively and wants to make herself known.
But you
then
said
it becomes like a really...
We were talking about the absolute pure awareness, and said that the awareness is not aware of itself.
Awareness doesn't need awareness to be awareness.
Yeah.
And there is no one in awareness.
So in fact there is no self there.
There is neither self, no truth, no reality. There is just the nature of
So there's no knowing.
There is neither knowing or not knowing. There is a knowledge which is uninterrupted, but it cannot be owned by anyone, and that's called heart. The knowledge of the heart, which is never coming, never going, which is just your nature. The nature doesn't need his nature. That is your natural state. That is your natural state, and everything else is a realization of your natural state. But you can only realize yourself in artificial experiences. So the art, you are art, but every experience is artificial. And by no artificial experience you lose yourself or you gain yourself. So all what you experience, all included, is artificial. And be happy that art cannot be any part of it. Because that what is art is hard. So what to do? So be happy that you don't need to be happy. That's the nature of happiness. Yeah.
So from what I understand, that there is no self-realization. It's just you have to drop this idea, because all the time you can't realize yourself because you are it already.
You have to realize, it's like a paradox. By being what you are, you don't need to realize yourself. By being not what you are, you have to realize yourself. So you better be that what you are in nature and not that what you imagine.
I agree completely with it, but the way to realization, which is like said by Ramana, who is hanging behind you, what is meant by that?
He said
there is no one...
No, he answered the question, are you realized? Is Ramana, we take you as real, he said, that what you see now as Ramana is never realized. It's just part of realization. That what is self is ever realized. It's that what is reality. It never needs to realize itself. So there's no new realization. So reality is permanent realizing itself. But there is no new realization in it. And there will never be anyone who is unrealized, and out of that, there is never anyone who is realized. So there is no self in it. So in that what is self, there is no self. That you're maybe right.
So the way is just dropping everything, and
even that is not a way. You cannot
just not dropping, even not dropping.
You drop by dropping the dropping. Drop the dropping.
Okay, and then drop the dropping.
That is, yeah, no.
I mean, it doesn't end, your chain doesn't end, I'm sorry.
No, drop the dropper.
Drop the dropper and drop the dropper of the dropper.
Dropping, renounce
drop the dropper of the dropper of the dropper.
Yeah, whatever, try harder. That is, so substrating what you are. You substrate everything, and the last substration is substrating the substrator. Then you are in spite of the substrator, or the absence of the substrate, or the abstractor. You abstract yourself until you are that what cannot be further abstracted.
Like the stick who will be burned by the fire.
Yeah, and that is the coolest fire, which burns everything, because this is, be cool. This is so cool, there is not even fire, because for fire, there is no fire. The nature of fire doesn't know any fire. It doesn't burn itself, it doesn't experience fire. So it's more than cool. So be cool, baby. Be what you are, that is very cool. Because the fire is like the causes where fire comes from, never burns itself. It can never experience itself. Like the sun doesn't know any sun, and just be the sun and not the sunshine. The sunshine is not different from you, but you are not the sunshine. You are that what is shining. And you experience yourself as light, but you are not the light. So even the light of Shiva is not Shiva. So be that what, where the light is by, but you are not by the light. What to do? I just can point to it. So I can destroy what you maybe, but one has an idea what has to be done or known to be what it is, that's all. Because I can sit here and say, what would you do with it if you know yourself? Show it to someone? Go to your friends and say, oh look, I found myself. But why people want to be enlightened? Because they want to only to be enlightened to show their friends that they are better than them. It's a competition running. Who made it first? Like in the Sangha. There was one Osho where one day he made a joke and said, 20 people you enlightened. And then they already walked around like, already imagined what they wear for the next satsang. And the next day he said, oh, I just make a joke. It was just for fun. He blew the balloon up and then the balloon went down. Wow, shit. And then maybe Papaji was doing the same with many of them, one will be confirmed. Blowing up the balloons, the road became balloonatics. It's a question, who needs to be confirmed by a master to be what one is? Who needs that? And who needs to repeat that? And who needs to put, it's really an accident this guy is up here. I would never put him there. Here, he. I don't need a pimp behind me. I'm not a prostitute who needs to be pimped by someone.
So it's an accident he's there?
What?
So it's an accident he's there?
Yeah, by accident, because it's unavoidable. In Germany, I sometimes sit behind in front of Osho and in front of Aurobindo, and actually I don't mind so much. If you ask me, I would just... The image even of Ramana I would destroy. I tried 10 years sitting here on the mountain trying to destroy... Maybe not that the beginning of Ramanaism would not continue, but I could not. I failed. I absolutely failed. Because everyone now believes in this form of Ramana and in his, how he lived and what he's presenting and his view and his peaceful old man, and I want to be like him. For me, okay, I saw it as an obstacle, but why not? So even Ramana, when you become a devotee of Ramana, because you vote for someone who behaves like Ramana, you make Ramana a role model for existence. As if the Absolute needs to be like Ramana to be the Absolute. And he tried it too. He never made any disciple or anything. He said, I'm the I and you are the I. There is no level and don't exist as real. This is a disease walking here. This is a sickness running. He said it, but now they made a mummified sausage sitting in an ashram, and everyone runs around and thinks, when I run around the sausage, I will become enlightened. It's fantastic. I like it. It's such a joke everywhere. But what to do?
Enjoy the show. Enjoy the show.
Enjoy. Yeah, it's an art exhibition. But the art you can see is not that what is art. A good piece of art destroys the viewer and the viewed in that instant. A good play, Shakespeare play, whatever, in that moment there is no audience and no actors anymore, when it really comes to that point. But that is a temporary absence then it comes back again, so it doesn't work. Temporary it may work. It's like in sex, we have sex and when for 1 second you are not there. And then you want to have that second again and again.
What does it attract you to stay here in Zero?
Me?
Yeah. Nothing.
I came 21, I am now 21 years I'm coming. Why should I change it? It's not because of need, just unavoidable. If I'm here, okay, now I have to stay anyway. I bought a motorbike.
Never house.
A new house. I didn't buy it. I would not go so far. That would be really, I'm really stupid. I admit I'm absolutely stupid, but there are limits to my even that. Buying a house in India, looking for trouble, but why not? If it has to happen, just paper. Buying something and then you leave it for someone else. There's some Indian family who ruin everything again, but you finally made it perfect, and then family comes and in 1 year it's down. I like it. Everything is fleeting. Honor. Thanks God, huh? Imagine you had to stay in this body forever. Huh? Imagine this would be forever. Like every day, but not aging anymore. Every day is the same.
Oh my God.
I mean, like that is like people want that, stopping time. There's no time. And imagine nothing ever happens. And this is really not transforming into some old age. I don't know.
But in a way you're saying it is forever. When you say that
Yeah, but
you
not-
can never get out of this, right? Not
Yeah.
the body, but you can never get out of the...
You cannot get out of realizing yourself.
Yeah.
Thanks God, there's always every moment a new moment of an absolute event of your absolute nature, whatever. Everything is unique, and there's always the next is different to that what was before. Enjoy the differences. Come on. Imagine you have to look every day. There's silence. It's like the idea of silence, like you look always in your own face in the mirror, and the face is not changing. Sometimes you close your eye and then you open. Oh.
To make faces.
I would say this moment you have experienced infinite time before, and you will experience infinite after, because this moment, this nature is not coming, not going. This aspect of your absolute nature is in coming, not coming, and in going, not going. It's as absolute as you are. And the absolute is always.
But it's taking some form.
It doesn't take any form. The form is already there before it appears. It doesn't take any form. That is Papaji's. Nothing ever happened because nothing is ever born, nothing is ever created. As nothing is ever created, nothing can ever be destroyed.
So there are no puppets to start with. You're talking about Shiva's puppets.
No, he experienced himself as a puppet and he cannot divide it. It's like it's part of his way of realizing.
It's just imagination, right?
Yeah, but if you call it imagination, why you bother about it then? If it's real, you cannot get rid of it, and if it's not real, you don't have to. So in both cases, just be what you are.
Yeah.
That's all. There's nothing to do. If it's real, you cannot get rid of it. If it's not real, you don't have to. Fine. If you can just stay in that, what is there to do?
You can't stay there.
If you just be in that middle path of Buddha, real, nothing to do, unreal, nothing to do, okay. Then you are just that what you are, which is absolute non-doership. Nothing else can ever be done or will be done. If it's real, it cannot be done. If it's not real, it doesn't need to be done. So what? Being as you are, unaffected by anything.
But there's a trap to fall into depression, I think.
I like depression.
Yeah, you know.
I love it. I love the absence of sense. The senselessness of life is my field. This is my body. This is really my body, or my body, and whatever you call it. The senselessness of all events, of all this universe, the total senselessness of existence. That's his joy. This total depression is the absence of any idea of what you are and what you're not. But the me cannot stay there, because the me will fight it. So it's a danger for the me. So the me, I want to have some sense, I want to know myself. Oh, just maybe a little suffering is okay. So suffering confirms that I exist. At least it's a confirmation that I am. I tell you, it's very tricky. It takes any suffering, because the sufferer needs to suffer. Without suffering, if everything is fine, he cannot survive. What would you do if there's nothing to do? What can this doer, this whatever history of the doer, do when there's nothing to do or not to do?
That's the question.
Can he continue his story? No. There's only a story. His story can only continue in his doing or not doing. That he can do or not do something. So be generous, because you can be generous. The phantom will always find a trick to make it. But I can tell the phantom, don't worry, there will always be the problem that there is no problem. Don't worry. Or worry, because worries don't end. As you don't end. Because if you could end, you would be real. So if really suffering would be real and could end, it would be real. Imagine just a hope, and one who claims that he had suffering, he made suffering real. Just by that he claims he ended it. Imagine. He confirms that there is suffering, because he ended suffering. And then he is always in a limbo, because he thinks it can start again, because what can end can start again maybe. So he makes it even more real when he ended it, when it's not there anymore.
But maybe it's not a question of ending the suffering,
The
but realizing that there is no suffering in the first place.
But this is part of the me becoming like a realized one. Then it's a real I. I'm a real I. Then you become like Osho. Realized. The day of my enlightenment. Down under spheres of suffering and trying meditation, and then I finally give up meditation. I finally give up looking for myself, and then it happened. I listened to that tape. I was totally amazed. Absolutely amazed. And it was actually, I think it was the same moment he was enlightened when I was made. I counted because it was 53, mid of March, 20 or 21 March, and I'm born in 12th of December, so it fits. And I came into, he became enlightened. There was a window in the window, like a star, come. So you can make a story out of everything. And I came, Ramana died 51, 50, and then he took some tour, and then
On that date.
the cosmic consciousness happened again.
Karl, you know, in
What?
Russia they say that you are reincarnation of Ramana.
No.
Many people.
Saying, I tell you, I have to go to Russia again to make something clear. That goes too far. That would be... No, then I would be trapped. I have to walk around in this and have to be peaceful. No, I don't go for that.
I imagine you.
I wasn't fun. No. Like Nisargadatta said, I'm slightly better dressed. That would be a reincarnation. But in that sense, you're all like an imagination of that, what is Ramana. So in that sense, there's nothing new. Even Ramana was an imagination of Ramana. Good.
Nicer is to say Karl is the embodiment of Osho's heart chakra.
Yeah, someone called me the shadow of Tolle. I still allow her to be here. The biggest offense ever. The embodiment of the heart chakra of Osho. That's really like a... Where's my laughing gas? This tooth is hurting. I need laughing gas. It has to be uprooted. I need some root treatment.
Again.
Again. The trees grow again. No, Osho, but he took all his teeth out when he was 40 or something, because he was fat with his tooth pain. He was radical in his solution.